Perfidy by D.H. Lawrence, 1885 to 1930. Hollow rang the house when I knocked on the door, and I lingered on the threshold with my hand upraised to knock and knock once more, listening for the sound of her feet across the floor. Hollow re-echoed my heart. The low-hung lamps stretched down the road, with shadows drifting underneath, with a music of soft, melodious feet, quickening my hope as I hastened to meet the low-hung light of her eyes. The golden lamps down the street went out, the last car trailed the night behind, and I, in the darkness, wandered about, with a flutter of hope and of dark shut doubt in the dying lamp of my love. Two brown ponies, trotting slowly, stopped at a dim-lit trough to drink. The dark van drummed down the distance slowly, while the city stars, so dim and holy, drew nearer to search through the streets. A hastening car swept shamefully past. I saw her hid in the shadow. I saw her step to the curb and fast run to the silent door where last I had stood with my hand uplifted. She clung to the door in her haste to enter, entered, and quickly cast it shut behind her, leaving the street aghast. Okay, this is by D.H. Lawrence, a famous British, he's more famous as an author, yeah? So what's this poem about? Okay, well, it's about a man who goes to his lover's house, and he goes and knocks on her door, but she's not there. And very clearly he's worried that she doesn't love him anymore, that she's in love with someone else. Yeah? And if you look at the title, Perfidy, this is talking about betrayal. So he's hoping that she still loves him and she's still in love with him, but he has this feeling that she's got another boyfriend and she doesn't really want to be with him at all. So, hollow rang the house when I knocked on the door. So, the author goes to the door of a house and knocks on the door. And I lingered on the threshold. So I waited on the threshold, on the doorstep, with my hand upraised, with my hand about to knock and knock again, because there was no reply. And I listened for the sound of her feet coming to answer the door. Hollow re-echoed my heart. So notice this word hollow. Yeah, very clearly hollow is saying something empty inside, and clearly this does not bode well. Yeah, it's not. It's a rather ominous word to use here. So somebody going to a door and knocking, but nobody answers, and he's going to knock again. The low-hung lamps stretched down the road, with shadows drifting underneath. So he looks up and down the road, and he can see shadows drifting, moving, with a music of soft, melodious feet, quickening my hope as I hasten to meet the low-hung light of her eyes. So he looks up and down the road, and then he hears the music, the sound of a woman's feet walking down the street. And he thinks it's her, and he quickly goes to try and meet her, to try and find her with the low hung light of her eyes. So again, shadows drifting. This is giving us a sense of things are not right, and the low hung light. So in this we have the idea, the metaphor that she's not really that keen on him, or this is what he fears at least. So he runs to meet her, but it's not her. The golden lamps down the street went out. The last car trailed the night behind. So he goes to try and meet her, but it's not her. It's someone else going to another house. And I think he heard these feet and some lights went on. And then they were turned off again as somebody went into their house. The last car trailed the night behind. So the car that brought this person disappeared, went away. Notice, it's all with negative things. The light went out, so hope is decreasing. The car trailed the night behind, so it's falling behind. And I, in the darkness, wandered about with a flutter of hope and of dark shut doubt in the dying lamp of my love. So the author starts walking around slowly in the dark, thinking about, does she love me? And he's thinking between, maybe she does love me. But there's also this other voice saying, I don't think she does. I think this is the end. I think this relationship is dying. It's died. So he's thinking about the relationship, and he has hope that it can still continue. So very definitely he loves her, but he's doubtful, or he wonders if she actually does love him, but he thinks it's probably not true. Notice again, the dying lamp of my love. Yeah, very dark and gloomy and negative. Two brown ponies trotting slowly stopped at a dim-lit trough to drink. So two little horses appeared trotting, and they stopped at a badly lit trough, so there's not much light. A trough is like a long thing, a long container of water. So he's now describing the scene in the city. The dark van drummed down the distance slowly. So the darkness of the street, the darkness of the place, made this noise in the distance, while the city stars, so dim and holy, drew nearer to search through the streets. So he's still walking through the streets, and it seems that the stars, which are not very bright, are coming nearer. Yeah, and it's like he's looking through the streets to see if he can find her, but he's still quite close. A hastening car swept shamefully past. I saw her hid in the shadow. So a car drove past me. So I think he's still in the same street. Yeah, and a car full of shame, full of embarrassment, full of the idea of having done something wrong. So it's like, it's implying that she's been with another man. Yeah, but it doesn't say it. This is just a metaphor. The car swept shamefully past, and I saw her hid in the shadow. So he saw her in the car that just went past him, and it's like she was hiding in the shadows, like she knew he'd been there, and she didn't really want him to know where she'd been or what she'd been doing. I saw her step onto the curb. So she stepped out of the car and onto the pavement, onto the curb, the edge of the pavement, and fast run to the silent door where last I had stood with my hand uplifted. And he saw her go to the door where he'd been a few minutes ago, knocking. Yeah? So she quickly ran. Again, she's running like she doesn't want to see him. Yeah, and he's seeing her there where he had stood earlier. She clung to the door in her haste to enter. So she wants to get inside very quickly, and she's close to the door. She doesn't want to be there. She doesn't want to be outside. She doesn't want to be seen. Entered and quickly cast it shut behind her. So she goes into the house and quickly throws the door shut, leaving the street aghast. So aghast, amazed, terrified, surprised, surprised by something bad. So the street just can't believe that she's just come and gone like that. So I think this poem is very good. It's everything it's saying. It's saying in metaphors. It's saying that this person is very very suspicious. He's certain that that his lover has been perfidious, but he's still hoping that it's not true. So anyway, enough. If you enjoyed the video, give it a rating, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now. Perfidy by D.H. Lawrence.